They didn't tell me directly. They never do. I found out 3 days before Christmas, standing in the grocery store, holding a box of shortbread cookies I had bought every December for as long as I can remember. "Oh," my neighbor said casually, adjusting her scarf. "Aren't you going to your son's place this year?" I smiled automatically. "Of course," she hesitated. "Then I must be mistaken," she said. "I thought I saw your daughter's post. Everyone looked so excited about hosting Christmas this year. All of them." "All of them, not me." I finished my shopping in silence. At home, I sat at the kitchen table and opened my phone. There it was, a photo posted an hour earlier. My children, my grandchildren, a decorated living room that was not mine. "Christmas at our place this year, so grateful for family." The comments were full of hearts, no mention of me. I scrolled further. Another post. "This year we're keeping things simple, simple." Apparently, simplicity didn't include an 80-year-old mother. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. Then I placed the phone face down and sat very still. I wasn't angry, not yet. What I felt was something colder. Recognition. This wasn't a misunderstanding, it wasn't forgetfulness, it was a decision. They had chosen a Christmas without me. Later that evening, my daughter called. Her voice was warm, practiced. "Mom, I was just thinking about you." "Of course you were." "We're doing something small this year," she said quickly before I could speak. "The house is chaotic, the kids are a handful. You know how it is." I waited. She didn't invite me. "I understand," I said. She exhaled, relieved. "You're always so reasonable." Reasonable, that word again. The one people use when they want compliance. "What will you do?" she asked lightly. "Have a quiet Christmas." "Yes," I replied. "Very quiet." She laughed. "That might be nice for you." For me, after the call, I walked into the living room and looked at the ornaments on my tree. Each one held a memory. The angel my husband bought the year our first child was born. The glass star my son broke and glued back together when he was 6. The paper snowflake my daughter made in school, crooked but proud. I had kept them all. They had moved on. That night, I didn't cry. I did something else. I made tea, I sat down, and I began to remember. Every Christmas I had hosted, every meal I had paid for, every gift I had wrapped late into the night. Every time I'd rearranged my life so my children could have theirs. I remembered the excuses too. "We're busy." "You understand. Next year will be different." Next year never comes. I realized then what this Christmas really was. A test. They wanted to see if I would fade quietly, if I would accept being optional, if I would stay grateful even when excluded. I picked up my phone again and opened my calendar. Christmas Eve. Christmas Day. Empty. Perfect. Because if they thought leaving me alone was harmless, they had no idea what solitude gives you. Time, clarity, and space to make decisions without anyone interrupting. I looked at the wrapped gifts under my tree, all labeled with familiar names. I smiled slowly. Some traditions, I decided, were about to change. They had given me a Christmas alone, and I was going to use it. I didn't call them back. That was the first thing I changed. For years, I had filled every silence, answered every missed call, sent reminders, smoothed things over before anyone felt uncomfortable. This time, I let the quiet stand. Christmas decorations stayed up, but I stopped adding to them. No extra lights, no baking trays lined up on the counter, no lists taped to the fridge. I simplified, not because I was tired, because I was thinking. My son texted 2 days before Christmas. "You okay, Mom?" I read it once, then I set the phone down. Being okay doesn't require proof. The next morning, my daughter sent a photo, the kids in matching sweaters, a caption about holiday chaos and blessings. Still no invitation. I didn't react. No likes, no comments. Nothing unsettles people faster than the absence of expected gratitude. I went out instead. The town was quiet, wrapped in early winter light. I walked slowly, deliberately. I noticed things I'd rushed past for years: a church collecting donations, a community centre with a sign that read Christmas dinner, volunteers needed. I stopped, read it twice. Then I took a photo of the number at the bottom. At home, I opened a folder I hadn't touched since my husband passed. Insurance papers, account statements, notes in my own handwriting from years ago. Everything was still in order, still mine. That evening, I wrapped the remaining gifts under the tree. Not for my children, for people who hadn't asked for anything from me. I didn't label them yet. I wanted to be sure. On Christmas Eve, the house was silent. No footsteps, no laughter, no last-minute calls asking where the gravy recipe was. I sat by the window with a blanket and watched snow begin to fall. I felt something unexpected: relief. For the first time in decades, Christmas wasn't about managing expectations. It wasn't about proving I still mattered. It was just time. Mine. At 9:14 p.m., my son called. I let it ring, then it stopped. A minute later, my daughter called. I let that ring too. Then silence returned. People get nervous when the person they sideline doesn't chase them. I poured myself a glass of wine, a small one. I raised it to the tree. To new traditions, I said softly. That night I slept deeply. No dreams, no rehearsed conversations, just rest. Because while my family celebrated without me, they didn't realize something important. They were getting used to a world where I wasn't present, and I was getting used to one where I chose what that absence would mean. I woke up early on Christmas morning, not because of excitement, because my body still remembered decades of responsibility. For the first time, there was nothing waiting for me to manage. No oven to preheat, no calls to answer, no children rushing through the door, late and loud. Just quiet. I made myself coffee and sat by the tree. The gifts beneath it looked smaller now. Not sad. Honest. At 10 o'clock, my phone buzzed. A group message, photos, smiling faces, a caption from my daughter, "Wish you were here, Mum, wish," the word people use when they don't intend to change anything. I didn't reply. Instead, I put on my coat and scarf and walked back to the community centre, the same one I'd noticed 2 days earlier. The door was open. Warm air spilled out, carrying the smell of food and voices. "Are you here to help?" a woman asked with a smile. "Yes," I said, "if you still need me." "We always do," she replied. Inside, long tables were set with paper decorations. People moved between the kitchen and the hall, laughing, calling names, passing plates. No one asked why I was alone. No one assumed anything. I was simply welcome. I helped serve food. I listened. Stories spilled easily when no one felt judged. A man who hadn't spoken to his son in years. A woman who lost her husband last winter. A teenager pretending not to care. They thanked me as if I'd given them something special. All I'd done was show up. At one point, a little girl tugged my sleeve. "Are you somebody's grandma?" she asked. I smiled. "Yes," I said. "I am." She nodded, satisfied, and ran back to her seat. That was enough for her. It was more than enough for me. I stayed longer than I meant to. Time stretches when you're needed without being used. When I returned home, the house felt different. Not empty. Ready. I sat down at the table and opened my laptop, something I hadn't done on Christmas Day in years. I pulled up my accounts, then my calendar, then my notes. I didn't act impulsively. Revenge is never impulsive when it's meant to last. I outlined, I planned, I made lists. My family thought Christmas without me was harmless, a convenience, a one-time thing. They didn't understand what exclusion does to someone who has given everything. It clarifies. That evening, my son called again. I answered this time. "Merry Christmas," he said brightly. "Merry Christmas," I replied. There was a pause. "You okay?" he asked. "Yes," I said truthfully. "I had a lovely day." That confused him. "Oh," he said, "that's good." "Yes," I agreed. It is. I hung up and looked around my living room. The ornaments, the photographs, the years of proof that I had mattered, still mattered. Just not to them. That night, I wrote one sentence at the top of a fresh page. People who leave you alone on purpose don't get to decide what you leave behind. I underlined it twice. Christmas was over. But something else had begun. They thought Christmas was an exception, a small misstep, a misunderstanding. They believed January would reset everything. My daughter called on the 27th. Her voice was cheerful, relieved. "We'll come by next weekend," she said. "The kids want to see you." I smiled into the phone. "Of course," I replied. "Whenever it works for you." That was all she needed to hear. My son followed up with a text. "Let's do dinner soon. Life's been crazy." Crazy is the word people use when they don't want to explain choices. I answered with a simple, "Sure, nothing more." They relaxed. I could feel it. The pressure they'd applied, carefully, politely, began to lift. People who exclude you still want reassurance that you'll stay where they left you. I stayed calm, still. The following week, I began making changes. Small ones, quiet ones. I scheduled a meeting with my lawyer, not urgent, not dramatic, just careful. We reviewed my accounts, my will, my beneficiaries. "Anything you want to change?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "But slowly," she nodded. "That's usually best." I stopped automatic payments I'd forgotten were still active, phone plans, streaming services. Little subscriptions tied to my children's names. Nothing confrontational, just accurate. I boxed up family heirlooms, not to give away, but to inventory. Who had asked for them? Who had ignored them? Who remembered the stories attached to each piece? Memory is a kind of currency. I was reallocating it. When my daughter visited that weekend, she brought leftovers. "So much food," she laughed. "We overdid it." She didn't notice that the house felt different, that some photographs were missing, that drawers had been reorganized. People rarely notice when access quietly changes. The children ran through the house, loud and careless. I watched them fondly. I still loved them. Love doesn't disappear when respect does. It changes shape. My son stayed back while my daughter buckled the kids into the car. "You seemed fine," he said, studying my face. "I am," I replied. He nodded, reassured. He mistook peace for compliance. That night, I returned to my notes. I added timelines, not for revenge, for closure. They had excluded me from Christmas. I wasn't planning to punish them for a day. I was planning to teach them what exclusion costs over time, because when people assume you'll always be there, they never imagine what happens when you start stepping out of the picture on your own terms. I didn't stop giving. I redirected. That was the difference. In January, I made my usual donations, just not where my children expected. I supported the community centre, the holiday kitchen I'd volunteered at on Christmas Day, a small scholarship fund run by a woman who remembered my name. I didn't announce it. Generosity doesn't need witnesses when it's intentional. I also stopped filling gaps. No more covering surprise expenses. No more temporary help that became permanent. No more quiet rescues. When my son mentioned a tight month, I listened. I didn't reach for my checkbook. My daughter noticed first, not emotionally, practically. "Mum," she said one afternoon, smiling too hard, "did you change something with the kids' activity fees? The payment didn't go through." "Yes," I replied calmly. "I reviewed my finances." She laughed. "Oh, well, we'll sort it out, sort it out." The phrase sounded heavier than it used to. They adapted quickly. At first, people do when they believe the change is temporary. February passed, then March. I stayed present, pleasant, unchanged on the surface. I hosted tea, I baked when I felt like it. I showed up when invited, I didn't offer. The first real crack came at Easter. My daughter assumed I'd host. She brought it up casually, mid-conversation. "So we'll just do it at your place again," she said. "Like always." I stirred my tea. "I won't be hosting this year," I replied. Silence. "Oh," she said. "Why not?" "I don't feel like it," I said honestly. She blinked. That answer hadn't been part of the script. My son tried humor. "Retiring from holidays," he joked. "From managing them," I corrected gently. They laughed, but the laughter was thin. Later that night, my daughter texted, "Are you upset about Christmas?" I read it twice, then replied, "No." I adjusted. Adjustment is a terrifying word when you're used to things staying the same. I continued quietly. I updated beneficiaries. I reassigned keepsakes. I wrote letters meant to be opened later. Not in anger, in clarity. They didn't know, not yet. They just felt the shift. Like furniture moved slightly in the dark. My son began calling more often, checking in, testing. "You need anything?" he asked. "No," I said. "I'm well." That answer unsettled him, because need had been our language for decades, and I had stopped speaking it. By the time summer arrived, my family understood something was different. They just didn't know what. And the thing about revenge is this: the most effective kind doesn't announce itself. It lets people feel the loss before they understand the cause. They didn't confront me right away. They circled. My son called more often. My daughter lingered longer after visits. Questions were wrapped in concern. "You seem distant," my daughter said once, carefully. "Everything okay?" My son asked another time. I smiled. I said I was fine, because they weren't asking the right question yet. They asked it in June, all at once. We were sitting in my living room, windows open, summer light filling the space they once assumed would always belong to them. "You've changed," my daughter said finally, "after Christmas." There it was. "I have," I replied. My son leaned forward. "Did we do something wrong?" I didn't answer immediately. People deserve the truth only when they're ready to hear it. "You left me alone," I said quietly, "on purpose." "On Christmas?" They froze. My daughter frowned. "We explained that." "No," I interrupted gently. "You explained why it was easier." Silence. My son rubbed his hands together. "Mum, it wasn't meant like that." "That's the problem," I said. "It wasn't meant at all." They tried then. Apologies shaped like excuses. We were busy. The kids were overwhelmed. "We thought you'd understand." Understand. That word again. "I did understand," I said. "I understood exactly where I fit." My daughter's voice sharpened. "So what, you're punishing us?" I shook my head. "No," I said. "I stopped compensating." They looked confused, so I explained. "For years," I said, "I filled gaps you didn't notice, financial ones, emotional ones, holiday ones. When you stepped back, I stepped forward." They listened now, really listened. "Christmas showed me something," I continued. "You were comfortable celebrating without me, so I learned how to live without making myself essential." My son swallowed. "That wasn't our intention." "It was the result," I replied. They left uneasy, not angry, unsettled. After that conversation, things changed. They invited me more. They checked first. But something fundamental had shifted, because they weren't scared of losing me. They were scared of losing what I represented: support, stability, certainty. That night, I opened my notebook again. I reviewed what was already done and what remained. I wasn't finished, not yet. Because revenge doesn't peak at confrontation. It peaks when people realize too late that the future they assumed is no longer theirs. They tried to fix it with gestures. That's what people do when they don't know how to change behavior. My daughter started bringing gifts again. Small ones, candles, scarves, things with tags still on them. "Just because," she said too brightly. I thanked her. I didn't display them. My son invited me to dinner, not a holiday, just a Tuesday. "We miss you," he said, watching my face for a reaction. I nodded. "That's kind." Kind isn't the same as accountable. They began including me again. Group messages, photos, plans mentioned earlier than before. Inclusion carefully restored, like a privilege they could grant back. They didn't understand something crucial. Once you've been deliberately excluded, being included again is not a gift. Summer passed, fall arrived, and with it, the quiet tension everyone felt but no one named. Christmas was approaching again. My daughter brought it up first, casually, too casually. "So, Christmas," she said, stirring her coffee. "We were thinking we could do it together this year, like before." Like before I knew. I didn't answer right away. I watched her hands instead, how she fidgeted, how she avoided my eyes. "Where?" I asked. She blinked. "Well, here, I guess, if you want." If I want, that was new. "I won't be hosting," I said gently. Her face fell. "Oh, I'll come," I added. "If I'm invited." Silence. My son cleared his throat. "Of course you're invited." I nodded. "Then send me the invitation." They exchanged looks. They had never sent me one before. A week later, an email arrived. Formal, awkward. "We would love for you to join us for Christmas Day at our home." I read it carefully. Then I replied, "Thank you. I'll let you know." They didn't know what to do with that. Behind the scenes, I finished what I'd started. The documents were already prepared, the allocations finalized, the letters sealed. Christmas hadn't caused the change, it had revealed the truth. I didn't hate my children. I still don't. But I no longer build my future around their convenience. When December arrived, they were nervous, calling, checking, trying not to show it. "Are you coming?" my daughter asked a week before Christmas. "Yes," I replied. She exhaled audibly. I hung up and looked at the envelope on my desk, the one marked after. They thought Christmas was about forgiveness, about going back. They didn't understand that some lessons don't end in anger, they end in restructuring. And this Christmas, they were about to understand exactly what had changed. I arrived on Christmas Day with one small bag. No trays, no wrapped gifts stacked high, no sense of obligation stitched into my coat. Just myself. My daughter opened the door and froze for half a second. She smiled immediately after, too wide, too quick. "Merry Christmas, Mum." "Merry Christmas," I replied. She stepped aside, letting me in like a guest. That was new. The house was loud, children running, music playing, voices overlapping. It looked like Christmas. It felt cautious. My son hugged me, longer than usual. "Glad you're here," he said. "So am I replied. And I meant it. I sat where I was shown, not at the head of the table, not near the kitchen, in a chair pulled slightly away from the center, observer. They watched me all morning, not openly, in glances, waiting for cues. Would I take charge? Would I step in? Would I fill the space the way I used to? I didn't. When the turkey needed checking, no one looked at me. When a child spilled juice, someone else cleaned it up. When dessert was late, it stayed late. Christmas survived without my management. That was the lesson they hadn't expected to learn in real time. My daughter leaned close while the children played. "You okay?" she whispered. "Yes," I said calmly. "I'm enjoying myself." She nodded, uncertain. After lunch, my son cleared his throat. "We have something for you," he said. They handed me a gift, carefully wrapped, thoughtful. I thanked them and set it aside. I didn't open it. Not yet. Instead, I reached into my bag. "I brought something too," I said. Their shoulders relaxed. They expected balance. I handed each of them an envelope. Not large, not heavy, just enough to matter. "These aren't gifts," I said quietly. "They're information." They opened them slowly. Inside were copies, not originals, summaries, clear, legal, unmistakable. My updated decisions, my boundaries, my plans. No accusations, no explanations, just facts. My daughter's face drained of color. My son read twice, then once more. "You change things," he said. "Yes," I replied. The room felt smaller suddenly, quieter. Christmas music kept playing, unaware. "Is this because of last year?" my daughter asked. No, I said. It's because of clarity. I stood. I didn't come today to argue, I said gently. I came to be present and to make sure there were no misunderstandings left. No one spoke. I love you, I added. That hasn't changed. I picked up my coat, but how I participate has. I left before dessert, before tears, before bargaining. Outside, snow had begun to fall, soft, steady. I breathed deeply. Behind me, Christmas continued. But something fundamental had shifted. Because for the first time, I hadn't returned to restore the old balance. I had returned to establish a new one. The messages started that night. Not immediately. People need time to panic privately before they do it out loud. My daughter texted first. We need to talk. No greeting, no holiday emoji, just urgency. My son waited until morning. Can you come by today? Please. Please arrived late, but it arrived. I didn't rush. I made breakfast. I read the paper. I let the day wake up properly. For years, I had responded to their needs on their timeline. Not anymore. I went to my daughter's house first. She was pale, tired. The children were gone, sent to a friend's house, I later learned. She wanted privacy. You blindsided us, she said the moment I sat down. I informed you, I replied calmly. There's a difference. She paced. You could have talked to us. I tried, I said. Last Christmas. She stopped. That landed. So what now? She asked quietly. Now, I said, we learn how to be family without assumptions. She sat down slowly. You really would have spent Christmas alone, she said. You didn't even tell us. I didn't think you'd care, I replied. Her silence was answer enough. My son's meeting was different. He didn't argue. He asked questions. What did we lose? What's still possible? What do you want from us now? Those were better questions. I want honesty, I said. I want invitations, not expectations. And I want my time to be treated as valuable. He nodded. I can do that, he said. We'll see. Over the next weeks, the family recalibrated, awkwardly, unevenly. My daughter struggled more. She was used to me smoothing things out. Without that buffer, everything felt sharper. My son tried harder, called before visiting, asked instead of assumed, listened more than he spoke. Effort counts. Consistency counts more. I stayed steady. I didn't overcorrect. I didn't punish. I simply lived the way I decided to. One afternoon, a neighbor asked, "Did you have a good Christmas this year?" "Yes," I said honestly. "I did." She smiled. It showed. The envelopes I'd given them worked quietly. They made things real. They removed illusion. They forced respect where guilt had failed. I didn't take anything back, not out of stubbornness, out of self-respect. Because revenge, when done right, isn't about watching people suffer. It's about making sure they never mistake your absence for insignificance again. When the decorations came down, something else stayed. Clarity. I kept the tree up longer than usual that year, not out of nostalgia, out of respect for the woman I'd been when I sat alone beside it the Christmas before. The woman who finally stopped pretending exclusion didn't hurt. My children adjusted. Not perfectly, but intentionally. They asked more, they assumed less. And when they slipped, I corrected them without apology. We still spend holidays together sometimes. But now there is a difference. I'm invited, not expected. I contribute, not compensate. I still give. But not to people who forget me when it's convenient. I give to places where presence matters more than tradition. I think often about that Christmas, the one I spent alone, how it felt like abandonment at first, how it turned into something else, a beginning. They thought leaving me out was harmless. They thought I would wait quietly and come back grateful. They didn't understand what solitude gives a person who has carried everyone else for decades. Perspective. Revenge, I learned, doesn't have to be cruel. Sometimes it's simply refusing to be invisible again. I didn't shout, I didn't threaten, I didn't demand apologies, I changed the terms. And now, every Christmas, I choose where I go, how long I stay, what I give. Being left alone that year taught me something priceless. If someone can celebrate without you, you can build a life that doesn't revolve around being included. That was my revenge, quiet, permanent, and entirely my own.